Broadcasting from Cincinnati, you're listening to the Ringside Reporter Podcast. All the news from the world of boxing right here.
Well, I'm talking to you the way I want to talk to you.
Now, here's your host, Eric Lorda.
Welcome to the Ringside Reporter Show and to a very special Wednesday edition. And, you know, Beeb, I had to look at my watch to make sure what day it was. That's what kind of week it's been. I tell you what, it's been a crazy, crazy week. As usual, if we're coming to you on a weekday show, you know, hey, man, you know something's going on. So we got two topics here. Teofimo may not be able to fight in September. How about that? He's sick. He's still got that COVID. They're saying he may not even be ready for that Oscar De La Hoya undercard. So, yeah, it's not looking good. But first, we're going to get started with Nonito Donaire and Donaire-Casimero. That fight is now off again. Okay, so this is how it goes. So just a couple of days ago, I mean, just this past weekend, Nonito Donaire said he pulled out of the fight. And that lasted about 15, 20 minutes. You know, whatever the case may be, and then he was back in the fight. Now, the whole thing's VADA. All right. They had the VADA, I guess the VADA testing that John Ryle did not want to enter in. He was saying he had a problem with it. Memo Heredia came out and said, problem. There is no problem. We've already enrolled in it, you know. So, hey, there's no problem. The fight was back on. I guess Nonito didn't think he wanted to do it. So, hey, they're both in VADA. No problem, right? Beeb, the fight's on. What else? What else could it be? I mean, what else? There it is. Boom. So why is the fight off now? Well, hey, man. So apparently Nonito Donaire put out a statement claiming that Casimero made statements against his wife. And he said it was Casimero. I thought it was somebody in his entourage or something like that. No, it was Casimero, he said. This is what Nonito's saying. Made some statements against his wife. Also had some issues with the VADA testing stance that Casimero took. He put out a statement. The statement read, and I'm going to read some of this because it's kind of long-winded. I'm not good at phonics, so here we go. According to Donaire, I am known to take stands for people that people are afraid to take. I stand for VADA, 24/7, 365, testing all boxers. This should never be refused or delayed. I also stand against bullying in any form. I stand against the disrespect and abuse of women and children physically, mentally, and emotionally. And I stand against the misogynistic culture. A grown man recently told the mother of my boys to snack on his blank. You fill in the blanks. You guys got it. We cannot ignore this unprofessional behavior. We cannot excuse the disgusting trolling memes created of my wife just for entertainment. I don't want other pro athletes to cross this line. And I think this type of behavior is, and I don't want them to cross this line. I think this type of behavior is acceptable. We have to maintain a respectable character, especially online, for the future generations to emulate and not promote ignorance and foul behavior. For the boxing culture to change, promoters and the networks should veer away from unacceptable behavior and not encourage it. All right, there you go. I get it. That being said, he said, as we stated before, we canceled this fight when they delayed turning in the VADA paperwork for 5 days. We have proof that the opposing side was neither honest nor forthcoming in providing the proper information to begin VADA drug testing. After we canceled the fight, then and only then did the paperwork suddenly appear. I do what I say, and as much as I want to knock him out, I'm going to take the high road, and instead of highlighting his misbehaviors, I'm not going to give his example the stage or the payday that it comes with. I see his point. I do see it. Listen, man, nobody wants their spouse or significant other or family member, as it were, called out in any way, especially because they're not a part of this whole thing. Even if they're the manager or the trainer, listen, they're not stepping in the ring. I get that. The fact that his VADA paperwork was 5 days late, listen, it's in. I don't think you can blame VADA on this. I think he was just irritated by what was said about his wife, to snack on his junk or whatever, Listen, that being said, though, there's been a lot of, you remember Shane Mosley, Ricardo Mayorga, when Mayorga, slapped her on the behind, right in front of everybody. Shane wasn't playing around. We're going to fight now. There is no way out of this now. We are going to fight. Those are fighting words. That's a fighting thing to do. You want to get into a fight, that's the quickest way to do it. But I get it. You know what? And I get taking the high road on this. I do. Do I agree with it? No, because man, I tell you what, if somebody says that to me or about my family or something like that, listen, them are fighting words, man. That's just the way it is. There's no two ways about it. We're going at it, man. That's just, we're going to fight. Either I'm going to go down or you're going to go down, but we're going to fight. Those are fighting words, man. Beeb, what do you make of all this, man? This craziness.
Well, they don't really clarify who was the person that actually made the statement. First of all,
Casimero. He said Casimero. He
did mention that.
He did say it. He said, "You're the one,"
but not in the actual statement, though. Did he?
Let me see here.
Because he says a grown man.
Yeah, I told the mother my boy's a snag on it. Yeah. But in the article that I read, he actually called out Casimero for saying
I wasn't sure if it was someone in the team or if it was actually Casimero himself.
I thought it was somebody on his team beforehand, but when I read that article, it implicated Casimero.
Because I have a hard time believing it was Casimero because he's not going to have any interaction with Rachel Donaire, because Rachel Donaire is Nonito's manager. So you would think, someone from his management team would have an interaction with her. But whatever the case may be, I get what Nonito Donaire is saying. But if you go back to the days of Sugar Ray Leonard, Roberto Duran called Sugar Ray Leonard's wife every name in the book, right? If you watch that documentary, The Kings, right?
You know what? I haven't even seen that yet. I got to go check it out. No.
Yeah. So they were talking about like how Roberto Duran had someone wait outside Sugar Ray Leonard's the hotel where Sugar Ray Leonard and his wife were staying at, and they were monitoring when Sugar Ray Leonard's wife would come out. So then they would call Duran, and Duran would make a point to like go down there and just like say things to her, like, after I beat up your husband, you can come stay with me or whatever. He was saying all types of off the wall crazy stuff to Sugar Ray Leonard's wife, and it really got to him. But it made Sugar Ray Leonard want to get in the ring with him and beat the crap out of him, right?
Right.
This whole thing about the VADA. Okay, is VADA really 365 24/7? I mean, are they really going in these guys' houses or tracing them and tracking them down and having them draw blood? For the most part, these guys are getting tested when they sign for a fight during the training camp. They can pop in anytime, whatever, right? You got to be ready, right? And I guess you're supposed to tell them your whereabouts wherever, if they want to know where you are, you're supposed to be able to provide them with the information. But in boxing, there really isn't no true 365 24/7 testing. It's not true Olympic style testing. But that's neither here nor there. That got worked out. So now it becomes a personal issue between Nonito Donaire and Casimero, with the insults towards his wife. I get it. But to me, is that a big enough reason to cancel a fight? I mean, fighters talk trash. They say horrific things to each other. It's the history of the sport, right? I've never seen an actual fight be canceled because someone was so offended by what their opponent said to them. Normally, they want to go in there and take care of business, even more so when someone says something derogatory towards them or their family or what have you, right? So this is totally out of left field. To me, and this is being floated out there, it looks like Donaire would rather fight Naomi Inoue. Inoue's got the WBC and the IBF, not the WBC, excuse me, the WBA and the IBF bantamweight titles. Donaire's got the WBC. Obviously, the Inoue fight is a fight that Aram is really interested in. He talked about that fight making the most sense right now for Inoue, right? That's something they mentioned right after Inoue's last fight, right? And then also, Casimero was supposed to fight Rigondeaux, and they scrapped that opponent just to make way for Donaire. So they went out of their way to give Donaire this opportunity where he could unify, right, against another fellow Filipino. Should be an interesting matchup, right? So to me, it looks like Donaire maybe is having second thoughts. Maybe someone could have been in his ear from Top Rank. This is just me speculating, my opinion, something that possibly could be happening. I'm not saying this happened, so don't say, Beeb, how do you know? No, I'm not saying it happened. I'm saying it's a possibility. It's plausible in my opinion, because the bigger fight would be against Inoue. You would have to. You'd also be fighting for two more titles instead of just one more title. So it would be a greater unification. So to me, it looks like maybe he had second thoughts about this fight. I'm not going to sit there and say that he's trying to avoid him because he's concerned. You know, I'm not going to sit there and question his courage or anything like that. Like everyone else here, all the internet tough guys love to do here. I'm never going to do that with any fighter, right? But I will say this: the more attractive fight is the Inoue fight, and it's for more belts, and it's obviously going to be for more money. You know, then I heard Donaire sit there talking about, I don't want to give this guy another payday. Again, he's a title holder. Obviously, he's gonna have fights out there. Eventually, if he holds on to his title, Inoue is gonna fight him. That's another. There's gonna be paydays for Casimero. I don't think that the gravy train is reliant 100% on Nonito Donaire for Casimero. Obviously, it is a big fight, but there are other big fights out there for Casimero. So you're not really punishing this guy, And then he's sitting there talking about how he's going to be broke when he retires. He's a one-day millionaire. And then Donaire's sitting there talking about how he invests his money. This guy just spends it. How he knows all these things? How did Casimero give him a freaking W-2, and let him know, or did he give him a general ledger on his spending
taxes?
Habits?
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know how we would know all this. I don't know, but what that has to do with anything about the fight, I don't know either.
Listen, man, you want to chastise the guy for being unprofessional and talking about your wife and everything. That's kind of unprofessional too, talking about his finances and that he's this and that he's that.
Why stoop to his level?
Right.
Why try to character assassinate him, saying he's like basically insinuating that he's not smart with his money, that he's irresponsible. How do you know what he does with his money? Who cares about all that? So to me, it doesn't seem to me like Donaire really wants this fight, and he's going to probably look for any reason to not go through with it, because again, we'll know what the true intentions are probably within the next 4 to 6 months when it's announced that Donaire is going to be fighting Inoue in a unification fight.
I don't know that fight is next. I think Casimero Inoue might be next. Casimero, who's he promoted by?
PBC.
Okay, yeah, and so that might be the next fight.
I think Donaire's like a free agent. Yeah,
that might be the easier fight to make then. Who knows?
And he's already from what I hear, I think there's already been talks. Whether how deep in talks they were, how far along they were. It is what it is. But at the end of the day, I think to me, it looks like Donaire just doesn't want the fight at this particular time. I think he'd rather go after Inoue. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, Reese Mack in the chat says cancel his payday. That's an interesting move. Yeah, but then you don't get paid either. So you're kind of canceling everybody's paid. You're not getting paid. He's not getting paid.
He's not moving off the date. He's going to fight someone. He's going to fight someone else. So it doesn't really matter.
Yeah. To play devil's advocate here, for a minute.
Sure.
He's, it was all said that like when that happens, when somebody insults your wife or whatever, you want to get in there, you want to fight, and that's your family, that's the case. And you want to get in there, you want to fight, you can't wait. This guy says, okay, well, no, what we're going to do is we're going to cancel your payday. And you say, wow, that's kind of a weird thing to do. But in order to stop this kind of culture, I mean, what else hurts the most? You not getting paid. You know what I mean? I mean, that hurts you more than anything, because that's why you're in the sport, is to get paid. So, and then how, we've never heard of a fight being canceled because somebody insulted the other guy. But again, man, like if nobody sets that example's never going to happen. You know what I mean? So they got to know then that if you're fighting Nonito Donaire, then his family's off limits. And if you make any comments about him, he may just go ahead and pull out of the fight and say, the heck with it. And if you don't do that, and if you don't set that example, then what's to stop the next guy from doing it? The next guy to do it to get under your skin or whatever the case may be.
Okay, but here's the problem. So again, and I say this with all due respect, I talked to Rachel Donaire before, way back when I got Nonito Donaire on one of my first podcasts that I ever did. She's his manager. She's a delightful woman.
Yeah.
She's a delightful woman, and she deserves the utmost respect. All women deserve the utmost respect, but she's a delightful woman. So I don't see how anyone could say anything bad about her. She loves her husband. She goes to bat for her husband. That's understandable, right? You got to expect that if you're dealing with Rachel Donaire. That's her husband. She loves him, right? Nolito Donaire is a great man. He's going into the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, for sure.
First ballot, without question. I have no problem, saying that. So at the end of the day, people are going to see this as a weakness, though, because now they know they can get underneath. This is going to hurt underneath. They can get under his skin this way. So if you're a promoter, are you going to be wary about, what if someone says something to Nolito Donaire about him or his wife, and he gets offended to the point where he's going to pull out of the fight? Is it worth the risk? At what point do you draw the line with this, right? Because promoters don't like when you pull out of fights. It's a bad look.
Right. That's true. My guess would be that, he's independent or whatever, but, they don't like it. But again, I mean, you don't have to talk about the guy's wife either.
100%.
Or his family.
I'm not condoning it. I do believe that's off limits.
But
at the end of the day,
we're kind of in that sport where, again, somebody pops off. I mean, you get paid to punch a guy in the face. I mean, at the end of the day, that's what it's about. You're going to hit the other guy. You're going to put hands on the other guy. He's going to do it to you, but, look, man, I mean, if a guy doesn't like it, he doesn't like it. And it's not professional. He doesn't support it. And I thought he did a good job in his statement saying, hey, I don't support bullying. I don't support misogyny against women or against children, against anybody, and this and that. And I thought he did really well in the statement. Do I agree with it? I mean, I'd rather punch the guy in the face, but as the older I get, the more I can see his point of it too.
So
what would you agree? Would you agree? What would hurt you more? Me smacking you in the face or me taking $10,000 from you? What's going to hurt more at the end of the day?
You taking $10,000 from me.
There you go.
I mean,
without question, right?
I'll tell you one thing that's going to hurt more than taking $10,000 from me. On this Sunday when I got to stick that freaking pie in my face. Fucking Georgie, man. Georgie doctored the video, man. And I put it through my legal team. There's no way we can get out of it.
I thought the video was doctored as well. I watched it. Did you watch the video?
I watched it.
If you watched the video.
Yeah, the video is edited.
It's edited. It's clearly edited.
But I ran it through my legal team, and there's no way I can prove it. There's no way I can prove it.
It's terrible.
So I gotta stick a pie in my face.
All off an edit. That's the crazy thing about computers nowadays. I mean, like we know we've got, and unfortunately we don't even really keep the archives here at Beeb Industries. We just kind of go with it.
Yeah.
It's actually housed in the cloud, and the people that can, control it and everything like that. I mean, you got to jump through hoops to really get things back.
Correct.
But after watching that video that Georgie posted, clearly it's doctored.
It's doctored up, man.
Clearly. But you know what? You're a man, and you're going to go through with it. You're going to go through with it this weekend, and everybody's going to watch. So it is what it is.
But yeah, but is Donaire really punishing Casimero? I mean, this guy.
I think so. I think so.
Well, but isn't he punishing himself too?
Not if he gets to fight with Inoue.
But
like you said, he's going to fight on that date regardless.
Yeah, because he's still on that date, right?
Yeah.
So what if Rigondeaux steps back in? I mean, he's going to get decent money for no matter who he fights. I don't know how much they're going to adjust the purse. It's PBC, remember, right? So PBC usually takes care of guys.
I mean, and
he's going to get paid.
Is no walk in the park either. I mean,
he's going to get paid regardless, one way or the other, and he's still going to fight one way or the other. So you're not. I mean, to what extent are you really punishing him? In other words, that's all I'm saying. You're biting off your nose to spite the rest of your face. I think it's all kind of a diversion to take the attention off of what it really is, meaning that he doesn't really want to fight.
You think he gets paid more with Inoue than he does with Casimero?
Substantially more, because it's two.
I mean, then he's not. Then nothing.
But again, he's missing out on a date, right? He's missing out on a date. Now he was jumping right into this fight off of the Ubali fight. How long ago was the Ubali fight? That was back in. I think that was back.
Was it March?
I'm trying to think when that was. Let me double check, because that was maybe March or April. I want to say.
I thought it was March, if I'm not mistaken, but I could be wrong.
Because it seemed like that fight was just recently. It wasn't too far away. So now you can be asking yourself, Let me see. Let me just double check when that fight was. I can't remember off the top of my head the exact date. I'm sorry. That fight was in May.
Okay.
You're right. He just
May
knocked
29th.
out.
Yeah, May 29th.
He just knocked out Ubali in May, and he's going to turn around and fight again in July. So maybe he's having second thoughts about fighting so soon after that last fight, even though that last fight was relatively very easy for him. He went out, left that fight unscathed, right?
Yeah.
So he just fought in May. So now maybe again, he's being told and counseled that, why fight again in July? What if you get injured? You're going to jeopardize that potential Inoue fight down the road for all the marbles, right? So why not push this fight off, fight the Inoue fight, and you can always go back to this fight?
Maybe. I'll tell you what, I think that it left a bad taste in his mouth that guy didn't enroll in VADA, that Casimero didn't enroll in VADA. And it wasn't until he actually said, hey, I'm pulling out. And then he said, oh, okay, no, it's in. And then they went in there when he was going to pull out of the fight. And then they ended up insulting his wife. And I think that was really the last straw. I really do. I think there was a lot of like, I don't want to fight this guy because I think he might be juicing or he might be something. You know what I mean? And yeah, man, I don't know. It just, to me, to me anyway, it seems like, it's one of those things where, look, man, he just, that VADA thing really left a bad taste in his mouth. And just with the thing with his wife, that was pretty much it. He was done with it.
I'm going to say I'm skeptical. I'm just skeptical on the true reason. I'm not saying that isn't the true reason. I can't climb into Nonito Donaire's head and see what's going on. I'm not a psychiatrist or a psychologist. But I mean, it's a quick turnaround. Just fought in May, and then he's going to just fight. Yeah. And then he's going to turn around and fight in July. So he's going to jump into a tough fight, right?
Well,
what I'm thinking is maybe he had second thoughts, and maybe he's looking at the bigger payday down the road with Inoue for more belts and for more money. It just makes more sense to. I mean, he had to find a way to pull out. I mean, it's just like when you're in a relationship with a girl and it's not going good, right?
Right.
And then your girl just, in the back of her mind, she says, I'm going to break up with this guy. And then like maybe we wake up one morning and you forget to put the cap back on the toothpaste. Oh, that's it. It's over. You know what I mean? Because she's just looking for an excuse. Like
just looking for a reason out. Yeah.
Donaire was, I think, was really looking hard for an excuse to get out of this fight because I think he had second thoughts about it. Not because he was afraid of the guy or a courage thing, because it's a quick turnaround. And why not just wait for Inoue? It makes more sense from a business standpoint, in my opinion.
Yeah,
that's why I'm skeptical. That's why he seems to
be like very principled. Donaire seems to be very principled. He wants to enroll in VADA. He wants to make sure the sport's clean. He seems like he cares about it. He cares about boxing. He cares about, and obviously he's very good at it, but he just seems like a very principled guy to me. And that statement to me said a lot. It tells me where his head's at, or at least, because there was a lot of passion in what he said. That was a passionate statement. That wasn't just thrown together by, his people or whatever. That was a passionate type of statement.
So let's play devil's advocate again. Do you think if Donaire didn't have the WBC bantamweight title, and do you think if Donaire didn't have that potential rematch with Inoue out there, do you think he would have done the same thing based off of principle? Because he's in a situation where he even said it on the Instagram video. He goes, I don't even need to fight anymore. I've made smart investments. He goes, I can do whatever I want right now. Because he has that Inoue fight out there, and because he is the champion at WBC, he's got something that everybody wants in that division, right? Do you think because of his situation and position currently in the division and in the sport of boxing itself, do you think that gave him more of a comfort zone to be able to take a stand? Because if he wasn't in that situation and he really needed to fight for the money, would he have been able to do that? Do you think he would have done that?
I do. I think he would have done. I would think it would have been the same thing. I really do.
Okay.
Now, obviously, if he was destitute and he needed the money and the payday, clearly he's going to let some stuff slide.
Sure.
But in the same position, if everything is the same, just the Inoue's say Inoue's fighting somebody else, and that fight's not going to materialize for another, couple of fights down the road. Does he still do this? I kind of believe he does. I really do. I just think that after reading that statement, it just seemed like a very, like I said, it seemed passionate. It seemed like from the heart to me.
I'm a little disappointed though. I'm a little disappointed because you had the fight. So let me ask you this though: how is he able to just pull out of this though? If they signed contracts, did they sign contracts? Like, how is he able to just pull out?
I'm sure they signed contracts. I mean, listen,
that's another question.
That's kind of a gray area. I mean, I would think because.
So how is he just going to be able to pull out of this thing with no injury? He's going to have to. So he may have to pay. He may have to pay. I imagine in there was VADA testing. I imagine in there was the VADA testing, and it was the whole fight was just kind of created in the past, you know what I mean? And I think they'll be like, hey, listen, man, if the guy doesn't want to fight him, he's not going to fight him, and he's going to pull out. Yeah, but
it's tough. I get you, but
if he signed a contract and they both put their names on the dotted line, can Casimero sue him for damages? So that's why I'm wondering, did he actually really sign for the? That's why I'm wondering, did he actually really sign for the fight, or was it a letter of intent or whatever?
It could have been like a letter of intent.
Yeah.
Could have been. I don't know for a fact. I mean, none of us really know.
Okay.
But I think that, I believe you are correct there with seeing that he could sue for, damages.
For damages. So does it make them We'll see how this whole thing plays out. If he ends up suing for damages, who knows?
I don't think he will. I mean, I don't think he will, but
I would.
Knows?
I
would too. I mean, hey, and
we don't play around over here at Beeb Industries.
Beeb Industries got the best lawyers on the planet. So, hey.
Left and right over here, man.
We're so happy over here at Beeb Industries,
So let's see how this thing plays out. Would you be surprised if they flip it and then they end up the fight's back on again? Or you think this is totally done?
If they flip it and the fight goes back on again, I don't know. I don't know that it was really that big of a fight to begin with. All right. I'll be honest with you. Like, if this was like a heavyweight fight, like a Wilder Fury thing, I would just be like, I don't care anymore.
Sure.
I would just be so indifferent to it. Like, listen, either you guys are going to, be babies about this and fight, or you're not going to fight. Either, but this one is like so down the ladder. To us, it's a big fight. To hardcore guys, it's a big fight. To everybody else, I don't think these aren't like exactly household names here. So I don't think anybody would really care. I'll be honest. I mean, I don't think anybody would care.
I'm curious. I'm curious to see if they actually put pen to paper, if it was a binding agreement, or if it was like a letter of intent, or just a.
That's an interesting point because, you had the whole VADA thing. If that was in a contract, then you have to abide by it, and you can't be screwing around with that,
Then there's another rumor going around, just to switch gears, because people are talking about VADA. So this kind of is applicable to the whole VADA thing. Is okay. People are assuming that Pacquiao Spence, that it's not going to be VADA. They're not going to, that both fighters are not going to be VADA tested.
Yeah, where is this at? Yeah, where is this at? I mean, where's this even coming from?
Well, people are just putting that out there without verifying it, right?
Well, why wouldn't you?
So if you go on Pacquiao's box rec and you go on Spence's box rec, and I know people, who cares what box rec said? Well, box rec actually has their VADA registration number right there, because both guys are signed up for the WBC clean boxing program. And they have their VADA serial, their VADA serial number right next to their name. So both guys are registered under VADA to be tested. So I don't know where this is coming from, because Pacquiao is registered under VADA. The clean boxing program is so Spence. So I don't know where this rumor is coming from that there's going to be no VADA testing for that fight. I'm not hearing it. I'm not hearing it from any credible
I'm not hearing
source.
it from anybody either. I saw that in the chat a little bit ago, and I'm like, Tony Ayo's piling on, says, I blame Rachel Donaire for everything.
Yeah. Rachel's a very nice woman.
Very nice. Very nice. I'm not going to say anything about her because, I don't want to get sued or, well, I don't know. I guess I don't have a fight against Donaire. You can pull out. I don't care. What am I going to care? But he's rich enough. You know what the thing is? He's rich enough to like fly here and beat me up. He's rich enough to just take a flight and come down here. So
I wouldn't mess with him.
I ain't messing with him, man. So Omar Rodriguez said he heard Montero say yesterday the WBC VADA program is a joke. Listen, I don't know about that, but I do know about VADA. All right. And I can tell you this story, Beeb. So I was watching one of the UFC shows. You know how they do their 24/7s or whatever. And I want to say it was with, I think it was with GSP back in the day. Thank you so much, D-Style. Thank you so much. We appreciate it. I think he was back with, like, say, George St. Pierre, like back in the day. And they went to his house. And maybe it was somebody, but I remember seeing this. They went to his house and had to give a sample. You know, he had to pee, in a cup. And that's it. I mean, he just peed. I mean, he said he couldn't go. So they had to wait at his house. They waited him out and, collected it. So they showed up at John Jones' gym. And, he actually hid. The story goes he actually hid under the ring so they didn't test him. So I don't know. Who said that Donald Rumsfeld died? Reese Mack said that Donald Rumsfeld just passed away.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Let's see if that's true. I don't know. Not that he's related to boxing, but,
Part of the Bush administration.
It looks like, passing of Donald Rumsfeld. Yep, he passed away. 88 years old, former defense secretary.
Yeah, condolences to the family.
All right. Is Bush Jr. still around? Yes, he is. Trump still around? Unfortunately, yes.
Whoa!
I didn't even say nothing.
I
didn't wish it like that. This is where you skew things.
Please.
I said
we already chastised Nacho for doing this the other day, wishing.
I didn't wish death on anybody.
All right.
I just said, he's out of the political round. Maybe he's, back doing his.
He actually sat in on a border meeting. They had him sitting in the border meeting. He was in some state somewhere. They had him sitting in. I'm like, really? What's going on here?
The economy and foreign relations were much better than under Biden. Chandler M., you don't know what you're talking about. Let me tell you what, as far as the economy goes, I'm getting checks left and right. Beeb's getting checks left and right. July's coming. You got those kid checks coming in for $500 a pop, boy. Just boom, 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 up until December. Son, you can keep him in office. As long as he's paying me, I'm voting for him, son. I don't care. And they're talking about who's going to pay this back. Well, your grandchildren are going to pay this back. So what do I care? I've been paying stuff back too. I pay taxes. They're going to have to pay theirs. Why care?
I'm not even going to touch that one. I'm letting that one go.
All right. Chandler M's in the chat. So, hey, listen up. You can listen here too, buddy. Chandler M. So this actually concerns you. What'd you say?
Did you read this one? Where was Beeb at on January 6, 2020? Read that one. Bayside Boxing. Bayside Boxing goes, where was Beeb at?
On January 6, 2020.
I was securely here in the Beeb at the Beeb industry, the Beeb Industries headquarters, right here. Okay,
Beeb Industry headquarters.
I have an alibi and everything, so don't try to pin anything on me. All right, because I'll slap you with a defamation suit faster than your head can spin.
There it is. Tony Ayo said it best. Lord is going to be long gone when the bill comes due. You could say that again, son. Oh my goodness, man. All right, Chandler M., you can listen up to this next story. You'll appreciate it. Teofimo Lopez, our boy, friend of the show. His family is friend of our show. Right, babe?
Yep.
He is still sick. According to Chris Mannix, he is still sick with COVID. And Chris Mannix stated that he was told by insiders that Teofimo may not be ready for by the September 11th date. That's the Oscar De La Hoya, I believe, that undercard. He was going to, they speculated that they were going to put him on that undercard with De La Hoya, but he may not even be ready for that. So that pushes the, Lomachenko fight probably out of the way. So they're saying he's pretty bad. It takes a toll. It's COVID. It's going to take a toll on you. Again, why he didn't get vaccinated, I'll never know. But hey, to each his own, whatever, But But now look at him. I mean, that's a significant. Now he's going to be out for a significant time now. Just being sick. Now I know there's been speculation. I know Jason's been on the troll here earlier on saying that he's in Italy or something like that. It's all a sham and blah, blah, blah. Listen, the guy is sick. All right. It is. Sometimes the easiest conspiracy theory is the one you see with your own two eyes. And the fact is there is no conspiracy theory here. The fact is the guy's sick. He's got COVID. No doctor would vouch for it, saying he's got COVID if he does not indeed have COVID. Tony Yayo says, he'll never cash that Triller check. Yeah, that might be true, man. That might be true.
Did they say that for the top ranked broadcasters, people are saying that they said Teofimo Lopez was in Italy, and then Dan Raphael said that wasn't true, because then Jason was trying to say top rank said that he was in Italy, but it was the actually ESPN broadcasters that said Teofimo Lopez was vacationing in Italy. And
Bob,
Dan Raphael's on Twitter, and people are like going back and forth with him, saying that like, how does he know what's going on and stuff like that? Because I guess he's saying that Teofimo Lopez is
because he's not juiced in with anybody.
Yeah,
how would Dan Raphael know what's going on? I mean, he only worked for ESPN and stuff. How would he know what's going on? I mean, he's not juiced in with anybody. Yeah, how would he possibly know?
I guess it was Bernardo Asuna they're saying that said the Italy stuff, because I don't remember hearing it. I may have missed it when I was watching the fight, but so people are taking Dan Raphael to task, saying, well, how does he know that he's really sick when ESPN's saying something differently? And then he was just saying, well, that's just ESPN, the commentator saying that, or I guess it was Bernardo Asuna who said that.
Yeah.
My top rank did not confirm that. But then you hear other conflicting reports, because then you hear that Teofimo Lopez Sr. was saying that Teofimo's okay when he was talking to Bob after the Lomachenko fight.
Sure. I mean, what's he going to say? He's on death's door?
Of course.
You know what I mean? It's his son. What is he going to say? He's dying over here. He can't breathe. He probably won't be ready in September. What's he going to say? Of course, he's going to present a whole, thing. JC, thank you so much, man. We appreciate it. Kung Fu Jitsu said, how long did it take you to recover after COVID?
About 10 days.
Yeah.
About 10 days.
Now, have you felt any after effects? Everybody I talked to, almost literally, but you're a genetic freak, but everybody I've talked to said, this was after they've had it, and months ago, they said, hey, I can't even walk a flight. If I walk a flight of steps, I get winded. And some of these people are in really good shape, and it's like they get winded that quick.
I've been doing 2 hours of cardio every day, man. And
well, like I said, you're a genetic freak. You're not,
So if it did something to me, then I'm fighting it off with the super soldier serum that I was injected with at birth. So
absolutely. Well, sure. So, asking you how long it took you to recover from COVID is just not even fair. That's because that's like a measuring stick that, come on. Yeah. That's like asking Lee Haney for his workout routine. It just, for what? You're never going to get like that.
Going to be 52 in December, man. So,
you don't look a day over 51. I got to be honest with you.
I agree.
It's crazy.
I agree.
It's crazy.
But I'll tell you, this most scariest thing for me with COVID, this was one of the most bizarre side effects. It increases your heart rate, because I have what is that thing called when you put the it gives you your heart rate and it gives you your oxygen levels. That little thing, I forget what it's called. It's a little thing you put your finger in. It gives you your oxygen. It gives you your oxygen levels and it gives you your heart rate.
Yeah, oximeter.
Normally, oximeter, yeah. So normally my heart rate's usually, 68, 70-ish, sometimes 75. Depends if I have some caffeine. It may go up to 75 or 74 beats a minute. My heartbeat when I had COVID, I was waking up. My heartbeat was like 88, 90.
Wow.
It sped up. And this was a side effect that a lot of people claimed. And a lot of people also complained about anxiety. I had anxiety when I had it. I was always nervous and anxious and stuff.
Right.
I don't know if it was just because of the fact that I had COVID and I was nervous, but then when I did the oximeter and my heart rate was racing. I was waking up and my heart rate was racing. I was going to bed, because normally when I go to bed and I wind down, my heart rate sometimes goes into the 50s. Right. I was going to bed with my heart rate at 90 and waking up with my heart rate at 88, 90. So
it's crazy. This is nuts, man.
It was the scariest thing, bro. That was the most scary part of having COVID was my heart, I felt like my heart was right. I felt like I was on coke. Not that I know what that feels like, but just putting that out there. I felt like people tell me how you feel when you're on coke. So
you need to stay off of that stuff. I'm just saying, it's good that you brought this up because maybe this is a good time for an intervention. I know that you like to dabble in the candy a little bit. I know that you like to snort the powder.
That's a rumor. That's a rumor. That's a rumor.
I've heard things of Beeb Industries, man. I'm just saying.
That's a rumor.
What I've heard.
That's a rumor. But that was the most scariest part for me was the anxiety and just my heart was racing and stuff like that. And it was crazy because normally when your heart's racing, you have energy, right? And when your heart beats faster, you have energy, you're hyper, you're ready to go. But I was exhausted.
Did you know that your heart was beating that fast? Like if nobody told you, would you have known?
Yeah.
Really? Okay.
I felt it. I just didn't feel, because normally when I get anxious, my heart rate goes up because I just have anxiety sometimes. And I notice like when I get like really nervous about something, my heart rate goes into like friggin' the high 80s, like the mid, like the 87, 88-ish, close, sometimes pushes 90,
Yeah, that's the thing, man. I'll give you an example. Like my dad, when he was in the hospital, he had something like an AFib or something like that going on.
Yeah.
And like his heart went up to like 140 or something like that, almost like he was like working out, like that high, like crazy high, and like sustained for like a while. And he had no idea. Like he didn't feel any difference.
Yeah.
He wasn't sweating. It wasn't anything. He didn't even feel any difference. So it was just odd, man. Yeah.
My average heart rate during the day is usually about 68-ish. But like I said, it was like 88, 90. So think about that. That's like 20 beats per minute more. And I was just lying around resting. And my heart rate was like that. So you're sitting there saying to yourself, like, what can I do to calm my heart rate down?
Right. That's crazy, man. And Tony Yayo had mentioned again that Teofimo has asthma as well. So it's worse. It's 100% worse with like underlying conditions. And Chandler M, don't even get me started. Do I have to pull like a wood on you or something like that? I mean, not another one, man.
Yeah, but a lot of people, they just and Leonard Elby came out and was like, if he's sick, I wish him the best. Hope he gets better fast. I hope he gets, he gets well as quick as possible, whatever. But then he goes like this. He goes, but them ticket sales were trash. So he just
Ellerby is such a clown. I mean, he's such a clown. I mean, really,
he's turning into an internet troll.
That's what he is. That's what he's turning into, a meme. I mean, he's a clown. Yeah. It's just funny, man. Like to watch him is like.
But I will say this: that Gervonta Davis fight did have a little bit of buzz to it. Really did.
Every time Gervonta fights, there's a lot of buzz to it.
Yeah,
whether they like it or not, and that's why I think he's probably the money man in that division.
He could be. He could be. He could be because a lot of people are talking about him. Like someone at work even brought his name up, and I guess his association with Floyd does help because people will say, "Is that that little guy that Floyd promotes, whatever."
Yeah.
But hey, whatever works for you, it works for you, right?
Yeah.
Whatever you can get attention off of, why not? If you can make that Floyd relationship work to your advantage, why not let that Floyd relationship work to your advantage? There's nothing wrong with that.
Nothing at all, man. Nothing at all. And I mean, that's how people know him, and like I said, man, all the stars come out. Like I said, Dr. J was in the dressing room with him and everything like that. Yeah. Came in to meet him. He probably wanted to meet the other guy too. I don't know. But I mean, I know he met Gervonta Davis. Like I said, man, and look what they did. They successfully, are calling this guy a 3-time champion or a 3-weight champion. And he's really not. He's really not. There was no title on the line for this. I mean, you cannot say when we already have a champion that holds that belt, we can't have another champion that holds the same belt.
I agree with that.
You can't have two champions. You can't.
I'm not a big fan of these, regular belts or whatever. I'm never going to make a defense for that. What I will say, and what I did say before the fight was, it was an intriguing matchup. Did I think it should have been on pay-per-view? No. Did I think that it should have been for a title? No. Do I think Barrios is a legitimate top 10 junior welterweight? Yes. Is he at the high end of that? No. maybe would I rank him maybe in the bottom 3? Yeah, I mean, I don't have a problem with that. Right?
Listen, man, Barrios is definitely legit. He was undefeated.
He's a legit fighter.
One of the best fighters in the world.
He beat a legit guy. It was an impressive victory. It was a solid victory. And it was a very, very entertaining fight.
Yes, but it was not for the title.
No.
That's all we're saying. That's all we're saying is it wasn't for the title.
I'm 100% on board with that.
Yeah.
And I think that gives it a talking point that it doesn't really need. Like that we have to sit there and because I don't want to say anything negative about the fight, but if I'm being objective, that's a legitimate criticism that they labeled it as a title fight and it wasn't a title fight.
Sure. Well, the UFC is going to do the same thing with Francis Ngannou. They're having Derek Lewis is going to fight Cyril somebody for the interim heavyweight title. And I'm like, that doesn't make any sense. We already got a champion, But titles, the thing is, titles sell pay-per-views and they sell tickets. I get why they do it. I'm just saying I don't agree with them calling him the champ. Bang Mateo in the chat. Let's see here. Says, Beeb, time to bet. He said, I'm taking Wilder in the rubber match. If interested, I'll hit you on Twitter.
So, normally I would shy away from bets on Twitter. I don't know this gentleman. I haven't done the background check on him, so I don't know how legit he is.
Well, we can do the background check from Beeb Industries. But will he do a pie? Will he do a pie bet? Will he do thank you, by the way, Bang Mateo. Thank you so much.
But if I don't know what type of bet he wants to do, but see, Fury's the favorite. So some of these guys, they'll bet you straight up. If I can get straight up cash on Fury, I would take that. I would take that in a second.
Wow.
I would take that in a second. But people would hit me up and they knew I'd like the underdog and I would be getting like 3-1 and they want to bet me straight up. Why would I bet someone straight up if I can get 3-1? I could take my brother goes to New Hampshire every day to play poker. There's a place up there. It's called Seabrook, right? It's called the
Is he any good?
My brother's an excellent poker player.
Really?
He's a really good poker player. Really, he really is. I see the gangster rolls he comes home with every night. He makes good money. He makes good money playing poker.
Poker player.
So if I want to bet on a fight, they have a sports book. They have a sports book up there. Actually, we're the casino in Everett, which is like literally 10 minutes from my house. In September, I'm hearing they're going to be having a sports book as well. The Encore. I don't know if you ever heard of the Encore Casino.
No.
Steve Wynn. He built it in Everett, which is like literally 5 minutes, 10 minutes from Boston.
Wow.
I'm like 10 minutes away from this casino, right? Beautiful casino. I've never even been there, but I've seen pictures and stuff of it. A lot of my friends have been there. I haven't been there. I'm surprised. I just haven't had the urge to go to the casino, right?
Right.
But in September, they're going to be having a sports book. So I'm not going to be doing these ridiculous things to bet fights anymore. I'm going to be a legitimate gambler, go to a casino and bet with a sports book. Right?
Not betting pies anymore. I'm betting legit now.
Do the old fat. No, but people want to like bet me online, and I'm not going to like bet with freaking go on a website. This way, you get your ticket. And you bring it down there and you get paid as soon as you give them your ticket. You don't have to wait for someone to send the money to your bank account. You don't have to have these knuckleheads stiff you online. Right? So that's the thing. The things are looking good. I mean, so my brother plays poker up there. If until September, if I want a boxing bet put in, he'll put it in for me. He put the Nakatani bet in for me.
Chandler Emma said, has anyone ever asked how Beeb and Eric know each other? We were actually introduced by Robert, Ringside Robert.
We were, yeah.
We were introduced by Ringside Robert. That's how we know each
Robbie
other.
reminds me every time I talk to him on the phone.
Every time, doesn't he?
Every phone conversation I have at Ringside Robert, he at least slips it in once. Well, if it wasn't for me, you never would have even been on this show. So what do you want? What do you want? Like fucking royalties?
Yeah, right. Yeah, right. You get royalties now.
You're not getting fucking royalties.
Bang Mateo, thank you so much. He said Tank has not fought an African-American boxer in 9 years. Think about that. They're feeding him a certain type of fighters. I don't, first of all, I don't know if that's true. Maybe it is. I guess it's easy enough to find out. But does that matter, though? I mean, do you have to be African-American to be a good fighter? I mean, I don't understand. Mexicans, we're pretty good too. We can fight a little bit. I'm just saying.
Manuel Char, Lebanese, WBA
Yeah, he's all right, I guess. Yeah, I guess.
WBA regular champion.
WA regular champion.
What do you think about him? He's top notch, right?
I know. What's his face likes him. Suleiman likes him.
Oh, he loves him. Fucking loves him.
Oh my God. Yeah. So yeah, man. That's the big news, man. That's the big news for today. I find it funny. I do find it funny that that they're saying this is all like phony, that he's making this up and that he's in Italy or wherever, like
a lot of people are questioning it,
which doesn't make sense to me. I don't understand. Like, why would you even question this? What's the problem with even questioning this?
Here's a problem I have. And once again, I'm the guy who's all about sometimes the optics, because the optics matter sometimes, right?
Sure.
So you got Teofimo Lopez Sr. out and about, right? And he's been around his son. Isn't he supposed to quarantine for 10 days? That number one. Number two, he's pulling his mask down, talking to everybody. Is Teofimo Lopez Sr. vaccinated? I don't know. Right? I know he was exposed to his son. Should he be out in public like that, pulling his mask down? Right? I know Bob Arum's vaccinated. That's fine. So he's, all the people that he was talking to were more than likely vaccinated. That's fine. But he was in the crowd with other people. Were all those people vaccinated? I don't know. So it's a bad look that's another thing people are saying. Well, why is Teofimo Lopez Sr. out there, out and about? Shouldn't he be quarantined? Why?
Well, not if he had the vaccine. Down? If he had the vaccine, no.
Yeah, so I don't know if he had the vaccine or not. I'm assuming he may have had the vaccine because he's older. He's like my age. He's like he's like 50 like me. So I don't know.
Channel M wants to know if Canelo beats because there's talk of Canelo and Beterbiev fighting. I'm hearing it that I guess without saying too much here, the Canelo Plant fight is getting harder and harder to make for whatever reason. I guess Plant wants more money or whatever the case may be, but
which I figured
if that does happen or it doesn't happen, the rumor is that Canelo will go up to light heavyweight and fight Beterbiev or Bivol. And I don't know if Bivol came back down or whatever, but he will go up there and fight Beterbiev. And if so, Chandler M's question is he the best in history if he does that? I don't know. I'll be honest, I don't know. I think that if he says he's tailor-made for Beterbiev. Listen, I don't know that anybody's really tailor-made for Beterbiev. You got to avoid that power for 12 rounds, period. And Beterbiev can fight. I don't know. Is he the best? I think he might go down to the best in history right now. He may just be the best in history right now.
For Mexican fighters?
For Mexican fighters? Well, I mean, who's better? I mean, I don't know. I don't know what the answer is. It's so subjective. He's definitely the best Mexican fighter ever. No question right now. He's better than Chavez. He's better than Sanchez, better than Benito Lopez, better than all of them. He's done more. That being said, is he better than does he go down as the best in history? Is he better than an Ali? Is he better than Frazier? Is he better than
who, Canelo?
Yeah.
No. I mean,
is he better than a Sugar Ray Leonard? I don't know.
No, I wouldn't say, but again,
like I said, it's subjective. It's subjective.
It's 100% subjective.
Milcar says Lennox Lewis is the best boxer in history. Yeah. Again, it's so subjective. I think everybody has their favorites and everything like that. I don't know.
Lennox Lewis to me is probably my favorite heavyweight of all time.
Yeah.
I like Lennox Lewis a lot because he was big, he was quick, he was athletic. He had it all. Like he had a style when he's on his A game, he could beat anybody, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing. And when he was on, one of those fighters that remind Terry Norris. You remember Terry Norris?
Correct.
He was like that. When he was on, he was on.
Yeah.
And there was nobody that could touch him. But when he was off, man, he had rough nights.
I'm picking Canelo to beat Beterbiev. I think he would beat him.
I think he probably would. It's hard for me until, like I said, man, until I see Canelo beat, it's tough to say, hey, man, it's, you know what I mean? This guy's going to beat him. I don't know, man. It's tough, but I will tell you what's dangerous for him. I will tell you what will be his downfall. Okay. Is changing weights and coming back down. If he goes up and then comes right back down and goes back up and keeps changing this kind of stuff, that'll be a problem for him. That's going to be his issue. If he goes up and if you remember Roy Jones, when he went up to heavyweight, came back down to 175 or wherever he was, and then, he just was never the same. Never the same. So if you're going to go up in weight, make sure you're going to stay there. Don't come back down and keep going back up and
I think that's a very good point.
Yeah, but that would be his downfall to me anyway. So yeah. Centurion Sun said, Beeb, if Pacquiao beats Spence, is he the pound for pound number one? If Pacquiao beats Spence, Pacquiao is the pound for pound number one of all time. No questions asked.
Wow.
No questions asked. Think about it. How many divisions has he won titles in? Like 7 or something stupid like that?
Pacquiao beats Spence. And he's asking me, would he be number one in today's current pound for pound list? I'm not a huge pound for pound guy, but I would probably put if Pacquiao beats Spence, I think I would put him where Spence is right now. With Spence, like number 4 or 5.
Yeah.
So I'd put him, I'd put him maybe.
Got to be the best fighter on the planet.
I think if Pacquiao beats Spence, he's top 5 pound for pound. Yeah. I think he would. Would I put him number 1? Probably not. No.
I would put him number 1. If he comes out and beats Spence, I would put him number 1. I would put him number 1 for all time.
Wow,
I mean, he would be the best pound for pound fighter in the world. Chandler M says Tim Bradley thinks Andre Ward would beat Canelo. I do too. I think Andre Ward would beat Canelo. Ward's a different kind of guy, man. Ward's a different kind of guy.
He just said Andre Ward is horrible.
Which is exactly why he's going to take a pie after that Teofimo fight. Teofimo could go in there and fight Kambosos now and win that fight, okay?
I do not think he is horrible at all, man. That is a very, very questionable statement, to say the least.
Bang Mateo says, why is Crawford over Pac-Man? Check the resumes. I get it, but Pac-Man's not active. Crawford is. Crawford's more active.
I think. Do you think Crawford beats Spence? I was going back. I do now. I was going back and forth with it, but I think he would beat him.
I think he does. Yeah, I think he does. I really do. I think. I think he beats Spence.
Now Spence said he wants Crawford after.
Well, Spence does a lot of things. He said he wanted Crawford 2 fights ago and 3 fights ago, and listen. I mean, you got it there. I mean, I don't know how difficult it is. Listen, I'm not in the business. I don't know. I don't know how difficult it is to put those type of fights together. But if I got 2 fighters saying they want to fight each other, what else do I need? We can kind of work around the particulars and get this done, right? If I want to fight you and you want to fight me, we can get this done.
Yeah.
So somebody, when it comes down to brass tacks, do you want to fight? And then do you really want to fight? Because if you want to fight, we can make the fight. But if you kind of want the fight or don't want the fight, like everybody's going to say, what is he going to say? I don't want the fight. Everybody's going to say, I want to fight this guy. But when it comes right down to it, do you really? Yeah, that's how it goes, man.
So Brandon Turner asks us, did I miss you guys apologize to the guy who broke the news last week and you said he was wrong? Well, when he did break the news, he was wrong because he came out himself and retracted his statement. So
who's he speaking about? I thought he was speaking about Georgie. Who's he speaking about?
Oh, who's the guy there? The guy from California, the boxing writer that came and said
Pugmire. Yeah,
it's Pugmire. What did he come out and say that? What fight did he say was off? The
Donaire fight. He said the Donaire fight. But he came out and then literally hours later, I mean, he came out and put the statement out that it was off. This is a guy from the LA Times.
Yeah.
And this is where I said this was irresponsible because this is a guy from the LA Times. Yeah. He's now with the Athletic. I don't know where Cop's from or whatever, but he's from the Athletic. He's from the Athletic, but he was for a pretty major organization, The Athletic's pretty major too. But with Cop or with Pugmire or whatever, he came out and said the Donaire fight was off. And then literally 3 hours later was back on again.
Yeah, so why?
So instead of just waiting for the story to materialize and then writing about that, he rushes the judgment, rushes it, and now today it got canceled. But nobody knew that Casimero was going to go out of pocket like that.
When he reported it 2 weeks ago, or was it a week ago? He reported it was off last week, right?
Last weekend, yeah, this weekend, Friday. Okay. Then Saturday it was back on.
And then he comes out and says it's back on. He made a mistake. So why would we have to apologize?
He didn't even say he made a mistake.
He just said it's back on.
They just said it was back on.
Yeah. So why would we have to apologize to him? Because if I say it's going to rain, if I'm a meteorologist and I say it's going to rain today,
right,
and it rains friggin' Friday, am I right? I mean, what does that mean? When he reported it, he was wrong.
How much you want to make a bet that Brandon Turner is an alias for Lance Pugmire?
No, but we have no problem correcting ourselves if we're wrong. But if the guy comes out himself and corrects himself and reports that the fight is still on after he reports it's off, then apparently he made the mistake, not us.
Yeah.
Yeah,
he made a mistake. We didn't make them. We told you it was a mistake. I told you when I was giving you the story that, hey, this did not happen,
I don't know.
And I said it was irresponsible then, 2 days ago. Yeah, a couple days ago or whatever.
I'm sorry for what I'll
sorry
say.
For what?
I'm sorry for whatever you want me to be sorry for. How's that, Brandon Turner?
Are you really? I wonder if he's related to Pugmire.
Brandon Turner, I'm sorry for whatever you want me to be sorry about. I don't know what you want me to be sorry about, but
apologize to him, Beeb.
I apologize to you.
Say it. Say you're sorry.
I'm sorry. Brandon
Say it.
Turner. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry, Brandon Turner.
That's better.
I didn't mean to let you down.
That's better. Let those tears run down your face. Let everybody see them.
I didn't mean to let you down.
Soft. Look at you. Look at you, like sniveling coward.
I'm all better now.
All right, that's good. Glad to have you back. Chandler, I'm saying that Ward has got the softest resume. I don't think so, man. Ward fought everybody, son. You can't really say he's got a soft resume. He's fought everybody.
Did he just say Ward has everybody? A soft resume?
Yeah.
Wow,
Super Six winner, Carl Froch twice. Yeah, he's got a pretty solid resume, son. That's a first ballot.
Froch, Mikhail Kessler.
And that was back when Mikhail Kessler. That was back when Mikhail Kessler was something. That was back when Mikhail Kessler was the guy, man.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
that's true.
Somebody's given Maestro problems because they said that Lennox Lewis has been knocked out. Everybody's been knocked out. I mean, so what? It happens, man.
Lennox Lewis avenged both of his losses.
It doesn't matter if you've been knocked out. Ali's been knocked out.
Razor's
been knocked out. Foreman's been knocked out.
Name one heavyweight that has. Name one.
Sugar Ray's been knocked out. Marvin, I mean, like
only one heavyweight that I know that's never been knocked out, and that's Rocky Marciano.
Plain knocked him out. It's cold-blooded, man. Why'd you have to go there? That's messed up. That's messed up. And you're in Massachusetts, too.
I didn't like that one.
That's just messed up. You shouldn't have said it then. Then you shouldn't have said it.
That one's below the belt, even for you.
Even for me.
That's a low one, even for you.
That's cold-blooded, Beeb. You shouldn't have said it, man. You're right there in Boston. Now you're going to pay. You can pay that price. Duke Reagan, Beeb, going to the Olympics for boxing. You know who Duke Reagan is?
He's from Ohio.
That's right. You know where from Ohio? Titletown, Jack.
Titletown.
Cincy, son. Cincinnati, daddy. What is it? 3 guys from Ohio. All boxers going to the Olympics, baby.
Do you think
Tell me this ain't the fight capital of the world.
You think Logan Paul should go to the Olympics?
I think Jake Paul should go to the Olympics.
Jake Paul, right?
Jake Paul, yeah. Jake Paul's much better.
You think Jake Paul's better than Logan? I think Jake Paul's a lot better than Logan.
Jake Paul's better than Logan. Yeah, I think so.
I think so.
Yeah, I think Jake Paul's a lot better. I think that what do you think about him and Woodley, man? Him and Tyron Woodley are going to fight.
I think he's going to knock out Woodley probably in 2 rounds.
I think he beats Woodley. I really do. I think he's going to beat Woodley.
I like Woodley, but at this stage of his career, I don't know how good he's going to be.
Yeah, I don't know either.
Sorry.
Yeah, he's going to beat Woodley. I think he'll beat Woodley. Do you think? Let me ask you a serious question now. Do you think? I don't think he ever. Do you think he ever fights a boxer?
Not like directly down the road. It's going to take some time before he fights a boxer.
Yeah,
so not in the near future. No,
I don't think. Yeah, I don't think he fights a boxer.
I
mean, they were talking about. Were they talking about like Tyson? What was his name? Tommy Fury or whatever.
Tommy Fury would beat him.
Yeah. I think. Oh yeah.
He's not that bad, Tommy Fury. He's okay.
Well, no, and he's got more fights. He's got more training. He's got a little bit more to go. He's got
the Fury genes in him too.
Got to like that. He's got to be pretty good.
You got to respect the fact that he's got the Fury genes in him.
D-Style said he tried to talk you out of throwing money away on Nakatani.
He did. He was adamant about it. He was one of the. I have to say, he was one of the only people that said that like Lomachenko was going to win easily. Most people said, even people that picked Lomachenko, they said it was going to be a tough fight. He thought it was going to be a blowout, and it was a blowout. And he predicted a stoppage. The only thing he was wrong about was the body shots, but he wasn't really wrong about the body shots, but he thought the knockout was going to be due to the body shots, and it was due to the head shots. But that was But he did say that he believed that Nakatani was going to get beat up, and he did.
He got beat up.
He was adamant about the fight being one-sided. I didn't see it.
Yeah, and you know what though is that like and Nakatani got beat up, and we could say I remember we talked about on the last show, was this a case of him being in the ring with Verdejo, being in the ring with what I mean? I don't think that had anything to do with it. I really
think so
don't.
Either.
I think that Nakatani, it was the same Nakatani that you saw against Lopez, the same one that you saw against. Styles make fights, man, and he just had his number.
Well, Lomachenko, I think, really stepped it up. He made a concerted effort to put on that type of performance where I haven't seen. I'm going to make a very bold statement. That's the best I've ever seen Lomachenko look in my life.
Really?
The only other time I saw him go after a guy like that was when he fought Rocky Martinez at I think it was at 130. Man. That was another fight where he went at someone like that.
Did not expect that.
That was the last time.
I remember that fight, and that was one of those things that I just did not expect like that.
That was the last time I ever seen him like go at a guy like he went at Nakatani.
Man, he destroyed that guy.
That was you remember that fight?
Yeah.
He beat the hell out of him.
I remember. I thought that fight was going to be good. I thought Lomachenko might edge it, but I thought it was going to be a solid side. I mean, he demolished that guy.
And what makes it look more impressive is regardless of the skill, right? That Lomachenko's got a great skill advantage over Nakatani. We know that. But when you see a guy as small as Lomachenko win there with a guy as big as Nakatani, and say you didn't know who either one of these guys were, and you watched that, you'd be like, wow, like it looks even more impressive because of the size difference. And we all know that size isn't everything in the sport.
Big. Yeah, it's not, but yeah.
We know sizes and everything, but he had a really big size advantage over him.
So let me ask you this, because I've seen Loma. To me, like I said, we've seen him against Rocky Martinez look like that. We've seen him look good. We've seen him every fight. He looks good. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I thought that every fight he never looks mediocre to me. He always looks in top shape, top form, and he always looks great doing what he does. That being said, is there anything that he did in this fight, pending that Teofimo Lopez comes out of everything okay, no after effects, no residual effects, how does that turn out for him? To me, it turns out the same, because I saw that Lomachenko before, and that same Lomachenko fought Lopez, and I just think it's a bad style matchup for him.
Well, again, we don't know what version of Lopez we're going to get after the layoff. We don't, because again, I'm always concerned about Lopez because he seems like psychologically, I think he seems like he doesn't always have things together. Like he seems like he's got some issues outside of the ring. You know what I mean? He seems like he lets things distract him. He lets things bother him or whatever. I think there's some flaws psychologically with Lopez's mind state. Whereas Lomachenko is more of a poker face guy. He doesn't seem to let anything bother him. When he's in there to fight, he's in there to fight. We've heard Lopez say that outside things have bothered him going into the ring before. We've heard him say that out of his own mouth.
Yeah.
So we don't know how stable mentally Lopez is right now, right? We don't know. So
let's just take everything equal. Let's just take everything equal.
Everything
and assume
equal,
he comes out okay.
Everything equal, I would favor Lopez again. And because
Yeah.
if Teofimo fights him the same way he fought him in the first fight, or maybe fights, if Teofimo fights him like he fought him in the 12th round, and Lomachenko fights him like he fought against Nakatani, I could see Lomachenko get knocked out.
Yeah, I agree. And there's a reason he didn't fight him like he did Nakatani.
Yeah.
And because he's got that power. He's got that. He can put your lights out, man.
Speed kills.
He can put your lights out.
Teofimo Lopez is probably the only guy in the division that's faster than Lomachenko, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I think so. And like I said, man, I think he's got a size advantage and he knows how to use his size. Nakatani, that fight, listen, I love Nakatani. He didn't know how to use his size. Yeah. And you got to think that if he knew how to use his size, that fight would have been a lot more competitive than what it was.
Yeah.
And he just didn't know how to use it. He doesn't, I'm sure he knows how to, he just doesn't utilize. That's not the way he fights.
He couldn't use his size against Lomachenko. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah. So that's the thing, man. I don't see a huge difference. I don't see a huge difference in the next fight. They're talking about that happening again, but when it happens, who knows? Like I said, the fact that, they were talking August, they're going to reschedule for August, then they were going to reschedule for September. Now it's looking like he may not even make it to the September deadline. That's not good. That ain't good, man. And I know that Senior said, "Oh yeah, he's fine." Of course, he's going to say that. What's he going to say? He's sick as a dog at home, throwing up. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, he's going to say that. But I tell you what, that's not good, man. Especially having asthma and everything like that, just ain't good. So,
yeah,
I don't know. Reese Mack said the Loma Camp is going to make some kind of new game plan for Lopez too. I don't care unless they come in there with a gun. I don't see him beating him. You know what I mean? So
yeah, I'm gonna favor Lopez. We have to assume that we're going to get the best version of Lopez. You're correct.
Yeah,
on that. We have to assume that.
Yeah,
right?
I think so. I mean, and for Lomachenko, man, I tell you what, instead of trying to get this guy in the ring now, because he's still got another fight, he's still got to fight Cambosa. He's under contract there. That fight's got to come off, and then he's got to go and fight Lomachenko. Listen, man, so you're gonna have to take a fight in the interim. Why not try to get one of these young guns in there, man? But I don't even think he could do it. I don't even think he can get one of these guys in the ring. I
would love to see Lomachenko fight Devin Haney right now and get that WBC belt, and then they can fight for all the marbles, and the fight gets even.
Yeah, I don't know that he beats Devin Haney, man. I don't know. Yeah. Ryan Garcia, Tank, all of them are out there, man. Like, why not?
I don't think Ryan Garcia is going to take on any tough challenges for another year.
Yeah, what's going on with him? I read on his he had like an Instagram and talking about mental illness again and stuff like that. I guess he suffers from depression. Yeah, D-Style, the phones are we didn't enable the phones this time. Sorry about that. But yeah, I mean he's always talking about depression and stuff like that. And I know he suffers from depression. But yeah, man, it's where does he go from here? I mean, he's got to get a couple of soft touches. I don't see him stepping in the ring with Haney or Davis anytime soon, Yeah,
so I don't know if he's going to get another like a tune-up type fight in between. I don't know. I would try to make the Haney fight. That's what I would try to do.
I would try to make it. Yeah, why not? Why not? That's a big fight. All these guys all sitting out there. There's huge fights made, and they're just sitting there. They're fighting whoever, mandatory or whatever they want to call it, or just I don't know, man. I don't get it. H Money says Ryan Garcia ducked Devin Haney when he was the mandatory. Didn't Devin Haney have a belt or something like that? I don't know, but why? All these sanctioning bodies, they give out these belts for rankings and everything like that, but they don't enforce anything. I don't know. I don't know.
It's crazy, man.
So what are you going to do? All right, guys, that'll do it for this edition of Ringside Reporter, our Wednesday special edition. Now, we will be here on Sunday. 7 p.m. sharp. So catch us then. We know it's a holiday. We will be here anyway because that's what we do, man. We soldier on. We keep moving forward. That's what we do. Beeb, am I right?
Yep.
Yeah, that was
Happy
real
4th.
convincing. That was real convincing.
Happy 4th.
Beeb, am I right? Yeah. You're right. Yeah.
Well, it goes
Wake
without
up.
saying. It goes without saying. What's understood doesn't need to be said. Right?
When you're right, you're right.
I was just getting ready to wish everyone a happy 4th of July before you stepped on me.
4th of July? It's June 30th.
But I'm just getting
It's not even 4th of July. Why don't you wish on the 4th of July on the 4th of July? That's why I stepped on you, because I knew where you were going. I knew you were going to say happy 4th of July. That's eons away.
So I have to wait for Sunday to say happy 4th of July?
Wait till Sunday. Why don't you just tell them Merry Christmas now?
Well, it's technically
I
not
guess we're just doling out holidays now. Why don't we just say Merry Christmas? Merry Christmas, everybody. Yeah.
Well, technically,
we just do that.
The actual holiday of 4th of July is being celebrated on the Monday, which is July 5th. That's what it says on the calendar here.
Monday, July 5th. Well, why don't we just wait till then? Why don't we just give it to them then? Yeah, let's give it happy 4th of July, everybody. Happy Christmas too while we're at it. Happy Halloween. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone. What's the matter with you? Not on. D-Style, thank you. D-Style, thank you so much. He said Fury versus Wilder happened. ESPN Fox did it together. Hey, when you're right, you're right. There it is. There it is. All right, guys, we will catch you on Sunday.